And what's going on? Happy Sunday to you guys. This is another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast live stream. We are streaming right now on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, Breakers.tv. We're kind of everywhere at the present time. Of course, this will be an audio podcast here in the next couple of days after I get through editing it. But right now, this is a live stream. So what I want to do in this podcast today, because we've got a pretty packed podcast. So before we get into all of that, I want you guys to stay tuned. We'll be right back in a sec. All right, hope you did. You guys went ahead and share that. And now I'm going to play the Kevin's favorite part of the show.
Yes, because I love it. Yes.
All right, welcome back. Now we got all the formalities out of the way. Again, I want to welcome everybody to the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast live stream. This will be a audio podcast. Put that on mute, Kevin, because I know that's you. He's like this.
That was my Facebook because I shared it.
So I'm sitting here chilling today with my son Javante, who wants to learn how to podcast. So he's sitting here with me. So what I want to do though, because I have some special guests today, okay, and we're going to get to those. So I need for everybody that's in here right now watching across all the platforms to please share this broadcast out, okay? So the first thing I'm going to get into, let you guys know, hey man, there's a website we got flowing around here. I don't know about the cuss. We got a website that we use here, knuckleheadchroniclespodcast.com. Go and visit knuckleheadchroniclespodcast.com. There you can get an email, sign up for the email list. You can get to the merch store. You can get to all of the live video right there on Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. So please make sure you go and subscribe and join up. Follow me on follow us on all the platforms. All right. Mm-hmm. And of course, we are on Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yards, but under Knucklehead Chronicles. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is bring on our guests, right? The first guest I'm going to bring them on one at a time because I've been rocking with this lady right here for a little while, and she's one of my favorites. And she has amazing curly hair for her not to be. No. I love her. She's awesome. Yeah. So I want to welcome first of all Miss Lynn Brunette out of Canada. Miss Lynn, ma'am, how are you? I don't have the platform.
Hey, doing great.
If I had my Rodecaster Pro here, I could have hit the clapping button, but FedEx messed that all up. All right, so
on the cheering.
I know.
FedEx.
Yeah, I love FedEx. Yeah, I love FedEx. So she is my first guest. My second guest that I'm going to bring on is a young lady that I've been rocking with for a long time, longer. This is about as long as I've known Kevin out of Chicago. Well, she's actually in Milwaukee, I think. But I was a guest on her show some years ago. The Brothers of the Round Table. That video is still on YouTube. Don't tell nobody though, but it is still on YouTube. So I want to bring her on. I hope she's don't have me on mute no more because she's traveling currently. So Miss Xavia, are you there? Can you hear us?
I think she got us on mute.
That's a no.
She got us on mute. It's okay. All right, let me bring on my other co-host here because he is down in the green room looking at me like, "Okay, Trey, what's going on?" Brother Dwayne is in the building. What's happening?
What up? What up?
That's
good.
my boy D.
My next guest that I'm going to bring on, my last and final life coach I'm going to bring on today is Miss Shay. We're going to bring her on as well. So Miss Shay, I got a black box for her. Not sure why that is. Is she frozen? I don't know. I mean, I can private chat her. Anyways, what I want to do real quick is I want to everybody
we can hear you now, Miss Fox.
Introduce themselves because this is an audio podcast, so people can't see us, but they can hear us. So what I want to do first is have my co-host and my guests introduce themselves. So we'll start with Kevin. Kevin, real quick, where you from? Where you be from, boy?
I can't hear.
Can she? Oh, we lost her.
Dropped off. Okay, go ahead. Kevin, introduce yourself, please.
Kevin, I'm from originally from Mississippi, but I reside here in San Antonio, Texas. Been rocking with Terry. How long Terry? We almost on a decade, right?
No, about 6 years, close.
I think longer
about
than
6
that,
years.
but we've been rocking like, for a minute, but
y'all sounding like Jeezy and Gucci. 15, 20.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, but yeah, we've been rocking close for a long time, man. That's my boy. So yeah,
absolutely. Miss Lynn, you're up. Where you from?
Hey,
roll with it.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm so excited to be here. You have great chemistry. I love what you share. I love the realness and the honesty. It's so nice to see. And I hate to kind of put a bit of a downer on, I don't like to bash, but it's nice to see some realness from guys. I guess you guys aren't really given a lot of opportunity. So that's what I love about your show. You guys are just telling it like it is. So I appreciate being here. I love it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for being here.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little freaked out with the video thing that everybody's talking about, but I'm good at going with the flow. I'm just teasing you, Terry.
It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna get to that.
So, do you want me to introduce myself?
Yes, please.
Okay. So my name is Lynn Burnett. I'm on the west coast of Canada. I've been doing this podcasting gig stuff for almost 13 years. Wow. I didn't start to have a podcast. That wasn't the purpose. It was really to promote my coaching practice. I had ended 2008. I was a brand new coach. I trained life coaching. A few years later, I got into one of Tony Robbins' coach training programs. So really, it was to promote my coaching practice, not realizing how much it would really grab me and how much my coaching kind of went into that as well. And so, I've been doing that. I eventually launched a network. I became a co-owner of a radio station called Bold Radio, which sold at the end of 2016. 2017, I got involved as a director of operations and vice president with recently Mile High Radio, which I've just recently left. So I'm always trying to keep up on this world. It's moving really quickly, and I love it. I couldn't imagine not being part of it. I have my days, like we all do, where we think I want to drop all this and not do it, but it's in our blood. And so I love podcasters are my favorite people. You guys are the nicest, most supportive, most driven, dedicated, and clients that I can help believe in. Until you believe in yourself enough, that's what I do. So
that is awesome. I've already done that, Devontae.
All right,
Ephraim, and do stuff.
I gotta follow that.
Yeah,
sir.
That's gonna be tough, bro.
I'm Ephraim. I went to school for a little while. I like being on the show.
I believe in you.
I'm here. I'm excited to be here. I can't wait to get into this show. I can't wait to get into the video. I got questions for these life coaches. I'm as much of a fan today as a host. So I'm excited.
My man.
Hey man, it's good to have you back though, man. I've been missing you, bro.
Man. Appreciate it, man. I'm in the trenches, man. Appreciate you.
Brother D Wayne.
He is. You muted.
You are on mute.
And my apologies for that. Dwayne Goodson, born and raised in South Carolina, military background, a little bit of everywhere. Life coach, love to talk, minister, all around good person, husband, father, failed, redeemed, a little bit of all of that. But I'm excited to get in here. She already got me excited. The life coach, and she's been doing it for that long. That to me, that says, Lynn, it says that you do it because you love it, not because you're trying to make money. So that makes
Amen to that.
difference. That makes a huge difference.
Exactly.
Dwayne left out firearms coach as well. They thought he'll slide that in there.
And he's a philosopher. He's a what that the smart person, the philosophical person. What is it? That's him.
Yeah,
that's Dwayne too. That boy is a walking thesaurus. That's what he is.
Yeah.
All right, and I got
loved a
Miss
lot of
X.
stuff Dwayne said.
Miss Xavia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, ma'am. Where you be at? Where you from?
I am in Chicago, Illinois. Originally from Milwaukee, but right now I'm driving the streets of Chicago. Am I introducing myself? Is that what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what you're doing.
Okay, so I have been a life coach for 7 years. I believe that's the focus of the show today. I've been a life coach for 7 years. I'm actually trained in the holistic healing arts. So I am not a self-proclaimed advice-giving life coach. I'm actually trained to help people heal, to get into problems, come from, help you heal so that you can actually change your life, help you figure out what your best is for yourself. I don't give advice.
You don't give advice?
I'm gonna have to hit her up if my Eagles lose today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think Miss Shay is back. I know she just sent me a message. Miss Shay?
Anymore.
Oh.
All right. Miss Shay? How you doing?
Hi.
Yes.
How are you?
You got it. Yeah.
I'm good now.
Good. How are you, ma'am? Could you introduce yourself, please?
Technical difficulties.
Good. We'll get it. You'll get it.
It's okay. It happens. All right. So what are we going to do first? Is there? I want to kind of move along it because I want to get to the video because she is chomping at the bit to watch this video. So real quick, I know I had questions, or my guys had questions for the life coaches that are here. So we're gonna start with that, Dwayne.
No, actually.
So we're gonna start with Ephraim down at the bottom. I know Ephraim got some questions for our life coaches. So Ephraim, whenever you're ready, man, fire away, sir.
All right. I have three just to start. Who comes to you more right now? I want to know who's more jacked up, men or women. And I know that's general, but when you have your people that you doing the life coaching sessions with, do you find the men to be a little bit more damaged? I don't know the terms, damaged, in need of healing, or are the women more jacked up? As of now, I know that's a big general question, but I mean, what you face right now, your last 7 clients, I guess, who was more messed up? Who has society torn down a little bit more? Is that? I don't know if that's clear.
Who's going to take that?
Go ahead, Liz.
Do you want me to take that?
That's you.
Do you want me to answer first?
Yes, ma'am, please. Yes, ma'am, please. Okay.
I'm cutting out a little bit. Are you guys seeing that, or is it just me? Is it my connection?
It kind of comes and goes. Yes, you have a little bit of a cutout.
Okay. So first, the main thing we learn when we train as a coach, no one's broken, no one's messed up. There's hiccups along the way. They're all lessons. No one's broken. It's just a different experience. Everybody has different experiences. So that's the first thing that we learn. Because it's all those experiences that make you who you are. So, I mean, if you took out those broken pieces, you'd be a really odd you wouldn't be a full human, right? There'd be all these gaps. So you're not broken. That's the first thing. And for me, all the people that have come to me, all my clients, I had, out of lots, one man. But that's changing a little bit now. I think and I don't think that people come to a coach because they're broken. I think they come because they tend to be already driven. So they tend to see the value in them, of putting that attention themselves and a better version than they can. People that tend to be like quote unquote broken or really down don't see the value in themselves, so they wouldn't tend to reach out to a life coach. So we generally see it's women that are mostly the ones that are into things like that, right? Look at how popular Oprah was and sharing things like that. Her biggest audience was women, right? Not a lot of men. So women tend to be the ones, but now I'm seeing a lot more men be, I don't know, for lack of a better term, enlightened, realizing that investing in themselves is hugely valuable, that you have this one life, this one person. All we have in the world is ourselves. No one cares more about us than us. And because it's always what's in it for us, and what can we do for us, and looking out for ourselves. And we need to, because we're the ones that have to live with ourselves every day and go to bed every night and put your head on the pillow. So I'm so excited that I see a lot more things like this show. Like I love men need to be celebrated more. So it's great. I love seeing these shows where you guys sit and talk and jam on these things and be real and have an opportunity. Because when do you guys have a chance to do that? And so I'm seeing that break and open of, teaching your boys to don't cry and be a man. And well, shit, you guys are human too, and you have feelings too, and you need a place to discuss and vent. You have life too. You have life experiences too. So I'm starting to see more men come about.
All right.
Let's see if I can get Miss Xavia in here. Miss Xavia. Let's see, where is she? There she is. All right, I got her on mute.
Because my sound is going in and out too.
Okay.
Did you mute me?
I did. Well, you unmuted now.
Can you hear me?
She's having difficulties.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't hear the question.
Ms. Zay, we were just kind of asking, and you're like,
I
maybe
didn't hear
like
the question originally.
Your last seven clients, like who's coming to you to see it be a little bit more messed up?
I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear the original question.
Okay, he's re-asking the question.
Oh, I can't hear him.
Oh. I might be a little broken up.
So, can you hear me?
All right. Are you still delayed?
I am actually almost at the house, so maybe I'll just come back in.
Yeah.
I laptop.
Yeah. Let's come back in. All right. She's gonna come back in. Okay. So, even what's the next question? We'll go there.
All right. What's the purpose of a life coach? Like, if I have this going on, I need to go get a life coach because they're gonna. If I'm not broken, you can't fix me, right? So.
That's right. So, what's the purpose of a football player having a coach, or a hockey player?
Help them win.
Hey, Lala.
So we want to help you win in your life.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, and I want to help her out a little bit until she gets some help. Until she gets some help in the building, because I'm a life coach as well. And like she said, what does a football team need a coach for, right? The purpose is to not give advice as much as it is to help you realize what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what decisions you can make better. And so it's like a coach. You can be a blue chip athlete coming out of high school, right? But it doesn't mean you're ready for the league, because I mean, you got to think in one section of life, it's like, hey, here I am. I'm the biggest fish in this pond. And then you get to college and there are a whole lot of big fish in pond. Now the coaching comes in, those pivotal decisions, they have lasting effects, where you might be able to get over at some points in life. you're gonna need guidance and directions. And with me anyway, personally, my thing is I want people to see for themselves. So what I do is a lot of drawing out of people. Instead of me saying, hey, that person's bad for you, I'm gonna help you see why that person's bad for you on your own, and not me telling them that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, life coaches don't give advice. That's one of the main things. Yeah, we help you. We shine a light on the parts of you that know the answers to the things that you say you want, because all the answers are within you. You have the capability. It's really just, I mean, the greatest thing you can have in a tool for life is resourcefulness. There's lots of resources out there, but it's resourcefulness. And so we kind of help show you how you can be resourceful, that you do have it within you. Absolutely. It's never giving advice. You can ask a client, do you mind if because sometimes, I don't know, Dwayne, if you've ever had this experience, but there's sometimes because coaching is all about questions. You ask questions to your clients and you try and lead them down a certain path. So they go, oh, so then, but sometimes it's like, you just can't get them there. You just can't get them there. And so sometimes you need to do a little, can I suggest something? Because really it's very unethical for a coach to say, well, you like this and you should do that. And I think you should do this.
And how long do I keep this coach? I got you for 8 years. You get me down a path. I realize that 2 years later, I'm not free, but I mean, I'm enlightened.
Depends on what you get the coach. Some people have a specific goal, something they want to accomplish, so they need somebody there to hold them accountable. Some people have a coach forever, because life is ever evolving and new things are coming at you. Some people it's a couple years, some people it's to learn the tools so that they can then do it themselves. Because the benefit of being a coach is we've learned those tools. So we still have crappy times and we still have our own moments. The thing is that we have things to do to get out of those moments faster.
Right. Well, real quick, let me catch up with some of these comments because we've had a few. Raquel, is it Raquel or Raquel? She's kind of your people, Kevin. She says, "Hey, big bro," and he responds to her by saying, "Hey." So just for everybody that's listening to this audio, I'm going to name the people that are commenting. That way I can read that comment. And so Miss Lala, who has on a pair of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast socks.
Oh, socks.
You're riding harder than me, dog.
From the merch store. So you visit the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast.
I love socks.
And you, I should have got you on mute, Kevin, because your TV was playing in the background a little while ago.
He watching.
So I have the socks on. You still watching?
Catch your breath today.
If you are in here and you have not shared this broadcast yet, please, because the piece de resistance is coming up in like 10 minutes. So this video has been across the web, it's been viral 10 times over. So I'm just saying you may want to stay tuned for that. Ashley says, okay, I like this setup. I see you being fancy with StreamYard. I hate to break your heart, honey, but this is not StreamYard. This is Restream.io. Let's get to it. Love you. Kevin always looking for spot somebody. And he does.
No, I don't. I'm a friendly guy. I'm friendly to Casper Ghost.
I'm just saying. V says, hey, acknowledging all the questions. Rich says, hey, and V says, I love socks too. Well, ma'am, if you want a pair of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast socks and support your brother,
put the website up.
Knucklehead Chronicles. You know what? Now that he mentioned that, I think I will. Look at
put the website up.
You see how
you get excited
right
for
here.
The website, get excited for it.
Chronicles podcast.com. Go and get your socks, leggings, face masks, whatever you need. We got it right up in there. All right.
Since my sister's up in here, I expect her to get a hoodie, t-shirt, socks.
I can do it. Yeah.
Oh, so Christmas present.
Question, because I only have one technically two life coaches, but Dwayne's part of the show, so he don't count. So I only have one life.
I ain't gonna ask no more questions. I know we're trying to get to it, but let me ask you this: what's the difference between a life coach and a preacher? And are y'all in a competition for the same person?
That's a really good question. Because I think life coaching is about looking at where you are now and looking ahead. It's not a lot of looking back. It's not a big thing. And I think a preacher's the same. It's looking forward. It's looking at the things to come. It's looking at the greatness, and it's looking at the greatness within, which I think is always something that we hear. And so I don't know, for some people, a lot of people, their preacher is their life coach. It's somebody that has no attachment to the outcome. So a preacher, I think they want to hold that belief for everybody. So I don't know that there is a whole lot. I think there's a lot of wisdom that's shared. But I think it comes down to the same thing. They take you within. It's within. Go within. And I always say, if you go within, you never go without. The power, the source is within you.
I like that.
I'm going to steal that.
All right. So we have Miss Fox back in the building.
Hey, Miss Fox.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. I can at least hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you look warmer. You look like you're warm now.
Yeah, Chicago is not cold. It's not warm right now. I'm sure.
No,
To be played.
it's about 45.
Really glad you're here.
Okay, I'm glad to be here. I can hear you, but there's still a little sound thing going on back and forth. So I need to know what questions I've missed so I can get caught up.
Let's see, Ephraim, run them back.
Absolutely. Just at the top, we just were trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out out of the clients that you deal with, who tends to be, and once again, forgive me for lack of terms, more jacked up, more messed up, men or women? Who's in more, who not disrepair, because I've been educated now, so you're not broken, but who's a little bit more
supply and demand? Who has the biggest demand?
Yeah, thank you, brother.
So I will say this. I have, I believe I did hear, I don't know anybody's name, but I heard her say that more women, and I do have more women. Women tend to kind of have things going on because, with the way that we do our process, we take you all the way back to childhood, where all of the dysfunction kind of started, where your journey started, where the teaching started. So I have a lot of women that are kind of in the same thing. However, when men actually reach out, they are usually more stuck. They've been going through, they've been experiencing it longer, and they're just finally at a point where they just don't know what else to do. So
that last resort.
Yes. So it's kind of like, okay, and most people think of it like this. Well, if I go to a therapist, it's going to cost me a lot more than if I go to a life coach. So they kind of start at the life coach place. Fortunately, there are a lot of us life coaches that are trained just as therapists are trained. So we're very similar. We just don't have as many letters behind our name. We just have this life coach term, which has totally been watered down by a lot of people who think that they should just be giving people advice on their life. But it's really a healing. It's a healing that we do. And that helps you grow past whatever, is going on with you. So if I had to choose one, I think men are probably more stuck by the time they actually seek help.
You ain't lying.
Hey, Ms. Fox, so you raised another question for me, though. So as you start digging into these people's lives and you try to help them, are you finding childhood to be the source where everybody seemed to have got messed up?
So here's the thing. Childhood is usually where those things occur, because our parents were having their own issues at the time as well. So you find a lot of abandonment issues. I find a lot of molestation and sexual abuse going on. So childhood is where a lot of those things start. If you are sexually abused, that can show up in either way. It can show up where you totally disconnect from sex, or it can show up where you become very promiscuous. Right. So yeah, it all kind of goes back to that. What did your parents tell you? Did your parents tell you that you were never going to be anything? You internalize that negativity. If your parents didn't accept you and didn't support you, then you feel abandoned. You know, abandonment doesn't necessarily mean that the parent wasn't there. It means that they weren't there supporting you emotionally or physically. I mean, sometimes the father is not there, sometimes the mother is not there, and those two parents offer something different. So one can you didn't have any protection, you didn't have any love, you didn't have the nurturing. You know, there's different things that happen in childhood. We have this one activity that we do with clients, the math teacher, and I often share it because it really makes you think. So when I went through my coaching certification, we actually had to go through being coached so that we knew what our clients would feel like as they were being coached. And
Good.
we all have issues, you know. So you go in and you think that you're all good, but once, you know, I started being coached and I went through this master teacher thing, the first question is, who is the first person that broke your heart? Now, this does not mean a love relationship necessarily. It could be your mother or father. It could be a sister. It could be a teacher or uncle. It could be anybody. But who was the first person? Remember?
That's a good question.
You know, for me, it was my mother, you know, and then my husband. My husband died. So, you know, and then I learned that I hadn't really gotten over my husband's death. And he's been gone for, well, now he's been gone 28 years. This was, you know, a while ago. So at that point, he'd been gone 21 years. But I was still holding on to some of that hurt and pain, which was really hindering me in my relationships. You know, because I've been proposed to like 3 times since then, but I didn't marry anybody because they weren't done. You know, I was holding on to some stuff. So yeah, childhood is usually where it all starts, because unless you had this perfect childhood, which not many of us have.
And let me interject. Life coaching and coaching, it takes on several different. Like, I can tell based on her story, and you can correct me if I overspeak my bounds, but I can tell by listening to her story that her focus area are people who do have image issues and who have hurts and past from the past that are present in their lives now. But I just want to interject that there still are multiple roles of coaching. She's describing one that's huge in the coaching field, but there still are other roles for coaches as well, not just that trauma part or the image part.
Yeah.
That now, and I was just because somebody commented, it's great to hear what the purpose actually is, and that's just one aspect of many. Whatever you can think of that you face in life, there's a coach for it.
Yeah.
That's definitely an app. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's also, I just wanted to add really quickly what she was saying about, you know, a lot of things stemming from your childhood. I had a client one time who had a really difficult time, and it was something that stemmed from her childhood, but it was something that you wouldn't think. And so this is an example of really not everybody takes things differently. So one thing that it affected her whole life, and we were able to go all the way back and nail it, was she was, as a small girl, had been napping in the back seat of the car where the parents driving, and she happened to wake up and overheard a conversation. She overheard her parents talking about her and what a good girl she was and how nice she was, and she was such a good girl. And you'd think, wow, that's such a positive thing. She had a great childhood. That extremely negatively impacted her, that hearing about she was such a nice girl. So then she led her life, well, I got to be a nice girl because that's what they're saying. So that really affected, right? You never know how people are going to take things, right? How you could say, well, I treat my children the same. You really shouldn't treat your children the same, because everybody takes things differently. You could say the same thing to both your children, and one will take it the way you intended it and the other one won't. So it's really, you know, there could be things from your past that you think, well, I had a great childhood. And, you know, like me, I had 2 great parents. Like, I didn't grow up in a time where parents split. All my friends' parents were together. I had a great childhood. My parents were fantastic. I am so grateful. But there was something that happened in my childhood that affected my relationships to this day. And I have to constantly, and it was one of my best friends on the playground, and how she treated me and the result of that. So I have to always be cognizant when things come up for me for relationships. So, and that was a bad experience of what she used to do to me. She was mean, but you know, you never know what's going to end up being a childhood issue.
Yep. It was funny because the way that it happened for me, I had a client, and her sister, her mom used to always tell her that she was the smart one and her sister was the pretty one. And so that gave her issues as far as her physical identity. But she you know, academically, I mean, she's a head nurse for VA and big, but she has problems with her identity because she had no physical identity. She was just smart. You know, so yeah, that even when people think that they're saying something great, sometimes that's not how your kid actually takes it.
Yeah.
All right. So let me catch up on some of these comments. We got a few.
I like what Cherish said.
Yeah, which one? Oh, she said the first comment she made, Cherish said, this is very insightful. Never really knew the purpose of a life coach. Rick is talking about emotional and mental cruelty. Mother abandonment. I didn't have abandonment with my mother. I just found out at 17 that she lied to me for 17 years that my dad wasn't the man that raised me wasn't my dad.
I'm going deep today, man.
Yeah. So Ashley says, "Oh wow," and she's responding to Richard. See, let me put another comment here. Also, Ashley asked the question to the coaches: what if it wasn't a family member who broke your heart?
Same.
That's for you.
And can I give up the male perspective in here too? Not perspective, because a lot of it seems like we're going to be on the same page on most of this. But the way I've always approached everything is it's all about image. Whatever image you see, that's the image you embrace. So when I dive in, I want people to learn to be honest with yourself. That's the biggest thing you can do if you want to have success is honesty. Because it's like I know we've all had an itch somewhere and we didn't know where the itch come from.
Right.
Like you in some superstitions, my hand itching, but you don't know why your hand itching. Or you get a cold and all of a sudden you get a knot right here. And, well, physically, we can go back and say, okay, well, your lymph nodes are inflamed because there's an infection in the body. Now you got to find out where the infection is, and so they run tests and everything. Life coaching is similar because I'm gonna say, so Terry, what made you? What made How did it make you feel when your mom told you that the man you thought was your father wasn't your father? And Terry's gonna give me an answer, and then and then we're gonna continue down that path. Okay, so did you lose trust in your mom? In what ways did you lose trust in your mom when she did that? See, I always like to answer open-ended questions. Yes or no questions always get you in trouble because you get a brick wall. But if you give an open-ended question, now you start to reveal what's going on or what you actually think or what you've been, the way you've seen your situation. So in all of this, you got to remember, honesty is going to be the key. If you want real results, honesty is going to be the key.
Yeah. And, you know, different methods for different people. You know, you have to find that coach that you jive with. Not only what they coach in, some it's relationships, some it's trauma, some it's sexual trauma, some like all different kinds of things. But you also have to find the people that you jive with, that you, it's like anything. So, you know, the ones that are going to be, some are really straight talking and out there. I'm not a, oh, poor thing hand holder. I'm like yeah, okay.
Let's get it,
Because why? Because why? And we break it down.
Hit them with some reality.
Oh, I can be a real,
I want my hand held.
5 minutes to like
take me to the finish line.
Hold me, please.
I need a hug.
See, if I can go in, she kind of scares me. It's kind of intimidating. She at the end, probably Xavia and Lynn, they probably gonna have me in the corner rocking back and forth,
doing the evil
asking for a bottle.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
No.
I
I have so much compassion. I have so much compassion for people that I don't want them to keep running that sad story that most people keep running.
Quit it.
And I'm going to let you go. Because hey, we all need that. We all need that life sucks and this is just crappy. And why do good things never happen to me? And you need to like let off that steam. And it's like, now it's enough of that. Because you know what we do in society? We see all the time. Women are really good at this. They affirm other people's sad times. Oh, it's just so bad. Oh, yes, you're so right. That is so bad. Like, oh, come on. Is that helping? No, it doesn't help. So I'm gonna let you go for a few minutes, and then we're like, let's go. Like, come on.
I need my whole first session. I need I want a nice life coach. I don't want y'all to be mean to me.
I'm just saying,
I'm gonna tell you who not to go to. I'm gonna tell you not, even in this category here. I'm gonna tell you who not to go to.
All right.
The one named Fox. Don't go to her because that's not.
She gonna hit me with that shot town.
It's off the rip with Xavia. I've been rocking with Xavia for a long time. It's off the rip with her. We've
been rocking with her for what, 7 years?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
it's been 7 years.
It's been since 2011. It's been about 9 years.
Yeah.
That's when I was doing men's and women's.
Been rocking for a minute.
I told Terry it's been about a decade. He said about 6 years on this.
That's right. We did the interview. Yeah. So Jared came with a comment. Jared said, I can see why a life coach would sound better than a therapist. I think a therapist has a bad name because they go by the book, most of them, whereas a life coach seems to be more understanding visually, in my opinion. You would be.
I'm starting to see a difference in what a therapy brings to the table compared to what a life coach, and this is giving more perspective to me from what I would probably want, because what I went through in my past, I probably would want a life coach instead of a therapist, because a therapist, like she said, goes by the book. A life coach kind of gives me some reality, like, stop it,
I'm glad you said that.
But let me ask you though, like, is there a transition though? Is there a time to move on? Do I rock with my life coach for a year and then you refer me to a therapist? Like, what's my transition?
At that point, there's probably no helping.
Yeah,
bro, you kind of stay with your life coach because we help you grow. And a life coach, we're not just, like you said, there are many different areas that we address. So we can help you through your trauma. We can help you through achieving your goals, as an accountability kind of coach. I'm more known for relationship coaching. So we can help you in many different areas. We don't have to refer you to anybody else. Especially
somebody got a phone call.
Somebody
yeah. If I'm in a relationship, I get jealous. I'm stuck with my life coach. we in this for life.
Now I have referred a couple clients to other people because every now and then you're gonna get a client that just not there's not gonna be no headroom.
Yeah,
and sometimes you gotta know when to cut them loose.
Yeah.
Well,
what we're gonna do right here?
That is not gonna help me in my heartbreak. This is
with my certification, the only clients that we have to refer to someone else is someone who has been medically deemed to have actual, like bipolar, if they actually need medication, like that.
Okay.
We don't deal, because you have a whole different.
That makes sense.
And that's we don't deal with that part. So that's the only people that I really can't deal with.
All right. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna read these last two comments, and we're gonna switch gears because you guys just said something to me that I want to address. So Cherish says, "Now I want a life coach." So you guys just got your client. So what you can do, Cherish, is you can hit up either Lynn or Xavia and get you a coach there. Richard says, if you think negative and put it out, if you think negative and put it out, you attract bad stuff. If you think positive, you attract positivity in your life. Ashley said, but also, is the life coach more affordable and practical? You don't have to make sure it's covered by your insurance or anything.
That depends on the coach.
Yeah, it depends on the coach. There's some that are that are $500 an hour.
Right. Chair says exactly, but honestly, I don't want to go pay to hear hear the same thing I already know. I want someone to help me understand how I can love and accept myself and help me apply to a better lifestyle. Now, this comment right here.
Well, she just did it. I mean, that right there is what she wants is the basic definition of what a life coach does.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I was
So
thinking. Yeah.
with that, we're gonna segue into my video. Okay.
Oh God.
So now we're this.
Have y'all seen
guys to read Cherish's comment? Okay, this last one that I'm gonna put up. Thank you, Cherish, for your comment. Accept myself and help me apply my knowledge to a better lifestyle. That's it. Right into my video. Thank you so much. Now, this video that I'm getting ready to play, you guys.
That was planned.
Has gone viral. It was not planned. Has gone viral. I know at least 10 times over. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you're watching this on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube, please, this is the part that you want to share this broadcast out because it's going to get real interesting here. So now, I want everybody to don't say anything. I'm going to mute everybody while the video is playing because,
How long is it?
Huh?
How long is it?
I'm going to run about 4.5 minutes of it.
Okay.
To get the gist.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so let me get my share screen up here.
Get ready.
Get ready.
We about to go on a roller coaster, like we peaking.
TD All right, so y'all ready? So I'm gonna mute. Like I said, I'm gonna mute everybody. Xavia posted this on her page earlier, and she got some interaction and comments on her page. But I'm gonna go ahead and mute everybody, and then we're gonna run. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh Lord.
I honestly want a six-figure guy, is what I'm realizing.
And ma'am, and that's my
You guys can you guys not hear that?
Yeah, we couldn't hear it.
What?
When it first started off, I could.
Yeah, when it first started off, we could. I think it's because you muted us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. We'll mute ourselves. We'll mute ourselves.
Yeah, I'll mute it. Yeah, that's what I did.
All right.
Let's start over.
All right, let's do it. As soon as I get my thing out there. Okay.
and ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
Why is it so?
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one on you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So
did you I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what?
This dude clown.
I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
Yeah, I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in.
Ouch.
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that okay. Average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one.
Wow.
And you're making, I mean, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, man. You can, but women like you die alone.
All right, so
you're gonna die alone.
Okay,
what's with the candle though?
Hold on, Kevin. Hold on. I want to go to Lynn first because she was the one. This is a blind react first. She's never seen this video, I don't think. So, Lynn,
oh my goodness,
what's your first thought?
You disgust. Exactly.
Go ahead.
Oh, my first thought is, how can I help that girl sue his ass and go to the International Coaching Federation?
Yeah. Because I can't.
He just does everything wrong. Now, having said that, first I was thinking, is this out of context? Because there are times in coaching, and the big person, it's called an interrupter, and Tony Robbins is one that does that a lot. Is he just saying stuff like that so that sometimes you'll say things like that so a client, but you got to know your client. So they'll go, no, that's not me. And to get them to find their voice. Yeah. And so at first I kind of thought, is that sort of what he's doing? But I thought, no. And he's just putting his opinion on her, which is so not anything. Yeah. We can have an opinion as a coach, but you don't know what somebody is capable of, and everybody's capable of amazing things. But that is he's doing more damage to her if she's having issues and feeling like she's worthless and having body image issues, which she doesn't, because she said, well, my body isn't average. So good for her. And there's nothing wrong with being truthful, but you got to let the person come up with the things on their own, or there's a way to ask them. He didn't ask any questions. All he did was tell her.
Yeah. But why the candle though? Why was the life coaching session so romantic? Why was he in the dark?
Like, okay, you got a little bit of context.
And look, that was his feng shui. That was his feng shui.
Yeah,
setting the mood.
I think it's a radio show, and somebody asked who this was. This is Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels.
What? That sounds familiar. That name.
So it was a radio show, and what it was,
wasn't me.
He took her phone call on his radio show. So at the end of this tirade, he cusses her out, calls her a broad, and everything else. But this is at the end of that, so I won't run that. But so my question to my life coaches, and you too, Dwayne, and you too, Walona, if a person, this young lady came to you and said, this happened to me. As a life coach, what is the first thing that you say? I mean, how can you even, especially if you caught this footage and you're like, oh my God, like what's the first?
Can I ask what she was asking though? Because it cut out, so I didn't hear what she was asking of him.
She was trying to get a guy. I guess it was, how do I get a guy that has 6 figures?
Right. And so,
so maybe it was dating.
That's the context. It was like she ain't getting no 6 figures or whatever.
Maybe she should just date an average guy. That was cold blooded.
I'm itching here. X right now. I know X out there going, I'm gonna get it. Well, let me go and read some of these comments real quick before you get started. So this is when I was reading it. So Ashley says women are attracted. No, that's right. Women are attracted to older men. Some are. And why are you guys never allowed to use the number 7? Well, the first thing you said was
because that's always the answer that anybody gives. That I'm not ugly, but I ain't all that. But you know,
okay, okay.
It's just taking that option off the table.
Oh, I've always wondered that. And
another one is if you're setting a goal, what's the likelihood on a scale of 1 to 10 that you think you're going to accomplish the task to lead you? And if it's not at least an 8, then you need to go back to the drawing board and how do you make
Quick question on that. Why not just use a scale to 1 to 5? Maybe that'll break it down. Give them a little more reality striking.
I got
to be the same. Then they'll pick a 3.
Gotcha. So 3s and 7s, don't pick that. Like I'm selling myself short, kind of sort of saying.
Right. Yeah.
Good question, Kid.
As you say, she's such a beautiful woman, and she was pretty. I'm watching the video. I'm going, why is he doing this? And there are some post stuff there. There are some pictures of him that are floating around on the internet. And
you need to do like I did and let it go because his hairline back here.
But
yeah, he's got it.
But she pretty on the inside. If she don't know she's pretty, then she ugly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by that is you got to believe in it. You know what I'm saying? Like if she doesn't think she is, then you not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I hope I ain't that wrong. The life coach coming up.
Hey, listen, $12 an hour. I'm with it.
She's not listening. Yeah. I think you're right about that. I think about halfway through this, she toned everything out at some point because
but if you read her body language, it wasn't that she wasn't. It wasn't that she wasn't listening. It wasn't that she wasn't listening.
Can I get real with y'all for a second?
It was she was hurt. That's what we saw.
I think she let her emotions get the best of her while she was, I guess, processing it. At the same time, she's losing what he is trying to get her to focus on. But like he said, when you get that raw emotion going, you don't necessarily grasp what that person's saying. Like he was trying to tell her, hey, this is reality. And then she'll come in with the but. No. When you have a but or something after that, you're not gonna grasp that.
Yeah, you can't speak in definitives like that. How she never gonna meet somebody?
Yeah.
How she gonna die alone? How does he
Can I
know
say
that?
Because she didn't want to grasp it.
Let me get.
She doesn't want to
That's what
die
it was.
alone.
Hold on for a second. Let me get X in because she hasn't said anything yet. Let's go ahead.
Okay. So, I did post it on my page. However, ironically, when I watched that clip, it wasn't her that I wanted to coach. It was him, because he clearly has some issues within himself. You don't do like that. And he's using a public platform and the title of life coach, which I really hate when people like that name themselves a life coach and then get on there and demean people like that. That's not what we do. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing was, I think he needs more coaching than anything. If I were to coach her, my first thing would be, because, okay, for me, I think anytime your main focus is money, then you feel like you don't necessarily deserve love. Being in it for the money allows you to emotionally disconnect and look at a person because anybody can make money. We all make money. That's and a six figure truck drivers make six figures, dude. I mean, this is not like you're not a millionaire. We ain't talking about millionaire. We're talking about six figures. Truck drivers make six figures. Construction workers. It is not impossible for her to meet a man who makes six figures. Real estate, lots of people make six figures. That's not hard to accomplish. So for him to demean her over something like six figures, he really was the one that I felt needed to coach it, not necessarily her. I would coach her because I want to know why she doesn't love herself to feel like she deserves love. Love is harder to find than six.
Yeah. And money lets us off the hook. A lot of very ugly old men get these pretty young girls and tell them they got to maintain themselves because I got six figures. You know what I mean? Like,
bruh,
you got to dig deeper than just six figures, man.
Right.
Y'all throwing so much meat out there. I want to shut up for a minute and just listen, but I'm like double dutch. I just want to.
Yeah. I got one for you, Dwayne. Though I got one for you though. Play devil's advocate.
Just for a second.
Just for a second, like Ms. Fox said, play devil's advocate, and let's see what you like. How would you? How do I want to put this? How would you, like, instead of just grabbing her by her neck and wringing her just to say, hey, you need to listen up? We can't do that. But how would you be that devil's advocate and just say, hey, this is facts, this is reality compared to your dream?
Well, here's the thing. Facts change, right?
Yes.
Truth remains.
Absolutely.
The difference is most of us are so preoccupied with facts that we never absorb truth. Like Xavia, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but like she was saying, I would want to know, well, why do you what's the significance of $100,000? Does that signify happiness to you?
Right.
I mean, because some of the things that he said, absolute facts. I mean, yeah, it is statistically logical that if you don't know anybody that make $100,000, you're not gonna marry somebody that make $100,000. Now, does that mean that that's her truth? Absolutely not.
No,
because she could make it with whoever falls in love with her, and if a millionaire decided that that's what I want, you don't ever let anybody qualify you. He pointed out a lot of things that are factual. Life Jennings said it in a song on the Phoenix album. He said, "Don't be a nickel out here looking for a dime." Well, dudes, we do it all the time too.
All the time.
And here's
I'm married way above my class.
But here's the difference. I've been the dude that's been told you can't have this, and this because you only got this. Look, I'm telling you, I was a PFC in the Army with a major paying my bills.
Yeah,
I want y'all to let that sink in. Yeah, that was fraternization against Army regulations. That was one. I had about 2 years experience, and she had been in for about 15 years. So only you can determine what you can have and what you can't have. The problem is she's heard what he said so many times from so many people that it was like picking the scar. Okay, you got a scar right here. Let me pick at it. I know it hurt. But there's a difference when you're cleaning the wound and then when you're inflicting more pain. What he was doing is inflicting more pain. I tried to have a conversation with Terry yesterday, and I equated it to parenting. I got 7 children. That means I have 7 different personalities. And I told Terry, I remember being a kid. My mama's the most loving woman I know, almost, maybe, arguably. She's the most loving woman I know. But I had moments when I got to a certain age where my mom had to throw the chaser away, and she gave it to me straight. Because in that moment, I needed that. Yeah. But you remember Mary Poppins? A spoonful of sugar make the medicine go down. Look, I'm telling you, people are fragile. And for him to give her that advice, they would have to have like an intimate relationship, not talking about sexually intimate, but like he has to know details about her. Because like with my child, when she act up, I know whether or not I need to go, look, I'm pulling the mitts off. I just got to give it to you like this. You keep on messing around, this is what's going to happen.
No, but the guy reminded me of the old school. Okay. His point about stepping your game up. Let's just say you want the $100,000. You got to be on that level for that kind of. I get that. You know, if you shop at Whole Foods, don't be looking for the $20 meat stuff. I get it. You got to step your game up if you're gonna be there. I'm for that. But when he was pronouncing, he was saying definitively, you'll never be more than this. That I can't get with. It reminded me of them old school preachers that was sending you to hell. It was like they was almost like they was happy that you were going. Like, but preacher, can I change my life? No, you can't change your life. You'll never be as holy as this.
You know why that is?
I can't make it. I can't get with that.
Ephraim, you know why that is?
What?
Like my sister over here says. Yeah. He needs coaching because here's the reality of it.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
A huge one. That's what he just told America is how he feels.
Right.
I make 6 figures, and this is who I am. You too ugly for me. You don't make enough money for me. You don't know anybody in my class. I would never date you. So somewhere in his mind, the image that he sees is you're not good enough for me.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think it's deeper than that, because if you look at some of the pictures that have surfaced and if you read up on them, there are a lot of things that are coming out. And I think he may, a lot of people struggle with their truth. Okay. And he may be struggling with his truth right now. And so in that, not only does he hate himself because he can't be who he is, he's like projecting all of that anger and hurt on everybody else around him. Because I hear that's all he does on his show. But if you really because I just kind of in the middle when I woke up, I scrolled through and I just have been watching some of his videos and look at pictures and stuff. And I believe that he just has not been able to walk in his truth yet. So I think he's struggling. He's struggling.
It was kind of. I was looking at Ms. Lynn, and she was like, "Who hurt you?"
It's like he didn't get punched in the heart. Somebody put a sledgehammer on him.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Because he can't have what he wants. He can't have what he really wants.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So let me do this. Let me get some comments.
He really can't have it.
You better not put that comment though.
Which one, bro?
Fly like an eagle.
No, I'm not gonna put it. But what I do want to do is this. So
we won today. I'm good.
There's so many comments that we've missed. Let's see. So Tasha, first thing Tasha said is he is not her judge and jury. Yeah. He does not know what God has for her.
Come on, Jeremiah 29:11. Come on now.
She would have been so easy to coach on what her question was. Very simple and basic.
Yeah. That's why I always say, I tell people, make sure you be mindful of who you let speak into your life. So people speak up and they have no idea what they're talking about.
Because she took that in. I'm telling you, she was playing with the phone, she was away from the camera, but she took that in.
She felt that in her deep down in her shondo.
I would have hung up on him.
Yes.
I watched. Yeah. Well, why didn't she? That's probably good. A better
That's
question.
a good question. Yeah.
I watched this in a whole different state of mind. She was kind of giggling in the beginning because I think I did too, Cherish, when I first saw this video. Because I was like, this cannot be true. This is a setup. This is not.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, is it out of context? Is he just being, sort of reflecting what, we tell ourselves stories all the time? And was he just doing that to her? Like, so that she would, kind of like when you slap someone when they go out and lose their mind and you're like, get a grip, right? Like, not that I go around doing that, but
and that comment he said about the money and that he had to beat him off with a stick. Like, I'm not saying a man wants to earn some money. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying that's all, bro. Your money, that's it. That's all you got.
Look, where a man treasure is, there is his heart also. That's what we're saying. I always saying, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. This is Terry. You are absolutely right. You absolutely. I don't see here. I'm trying to keep my professionalism.
We on fire time too, Dwayne.
Okay, so this is all I'm saying. This is all. You said that you have to be careful who you allow to speak into you. Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. And here's the thing: people are so enamored with celebrity. They're so enamored with a following. They're so enamored with virility and all this other stuff that they let any and everybody speak into. I ain't got no issues with the dude, Derek Jackson, but I had a lot of issue with Derek Jackson from this point of view. A lot of women took what he said to heart, not realizing that no two men are the same. No two women are the same. So to give blanket advice without filling in the blank of the context, it is just as much damaging as what this guy just did. And we allow it as a culture. We continue to like, share, and everything else, and it gives them life.
Things like that, like a call-in show, you have to be pretty generic. Here, I'll ask you a few questions that will maybe make you think for yourself, and here I'll give you a tool you can use. Like you cannot. When you have a relationship with a coach and you coach with their client, it's a dance. Like you are getting to know them and how they talk and how they take things and what's their sense of humor, and that's a big process for us to get to know. Like with our children, when you can like just throw it down and go, I'm going to give you some pushback because now I think you're strong enough that you're going to stand up a bit for yourself, and you test that and test that and test that, and you know how far you can go, and it's all about just bringing out the best in you. That's all it is. So that's sad.
These life coaches that actually give advice because they're speaking from their own experience or what they think. And like you said, no two men are alike. And that's what I said on my page when I posted. I said, how can this one man speak for every man? You all men are different. All men are different. Right. So he has no clue what that young lady might run into. I'm trying
to tell you. So Ashley says in her comment, you lose track of your pain by nursing your wounds.
That's affirming. That's affirming.
But even on the same side of that coin,
we call that being stuck in your story. So we start to identify with because we know what response we're going to get. Like I talked about my husband a lot. When my husband died, blah blah blah. I was stuck in that story, so I wasn't able to grow past it. So we got to get out of your story. We got to change your story. We got to get a different story going on.
Miss Fox, Terry, I know you're trying to close, but out of those three guys, you didn't say no to nobody? You didn't say yes. You didn't say yes to any other three proposals?
Okay, so what happened was I said yes to two of them, but I found a reason not to go through with it. It was my own mental block.
I'll say the rest of the next show, Terry.
Hey, Kevin, that's for you, Kevin, right here. I think I put that up.
And see, you and Ashley, I'm done with y'all. And see, I'm with her on this comment though. Because this guy kind of reminds me of, and I've never seen any other content, but what I'm seeing on some of these comments that I've actually did my research on, he kind of does things like, I don't know if you guys know this guy on YouTube by Tommy Sotomayor.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah.
This is who he reminds me of. So it's kind of like
right.
this coming here. It's like clickbait, but he's throwing the content out there so he can get responses, negative response, whether they're good or bad. He's getting responses and he's making money off of it. Kind of like that's what it feels like. So I'm with Ashley
it's like that
on
movie. It's like that movie with Gerard Butler where he had a talk show and I can't remember the name of that movie. It was the same thing, and it was like.
Yeah. So, Tommy Sotomayor needs Jesus and about 3 exorcisms. That dude.
And a glass of milk. And a glass
Tommy
of
Sotomayor,
milk.
listen to me, man. Tommy Sotomayor hates women. Period. Everything come out of that dude's mouth.
No. He not only hates women, he hates
black
women of color.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He can't.
And guess what he is?
Horrible.
He's black.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, look, see, y'all let too much stuff surprise y'all.
I'm a little shocked by that.
I'm just saying, no, but we got to be real with each other. Like I'm with being real, but me being real is from this point of view.
Yeah.
Why are we shocked? Like when there's a dead animal around, what else do you describe that for me? You got some smells that are pungent. You got flies. You got swelling. You got possible bacteria in other places. So guess what? In this life that we're living, there are a lot of injured people walking around with sepsis and dead and dying parts of themselves.
Really, Richard?
Guess who is attracted to that? Flies.
Yeah.
So why is it surprising that somebody like Mr. was it Samuel? Whatever his name is?
Tommy.
No, not even him.
Oh, Kevin Samuel.
The first one. And Sotomayor, all of them.
I'm not shocked that I'm shocked that he's choosing to make a living off of it. I get the clickbait.
No. That ain't what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Let me get personal.
Okay.
When I was 20 years old in the Army, just got an annulment done, right? I needed something to get my mind off of all the pain that I was going through. So what did I do? I became a hoe. And when I became this hoe, you know who I looked and went after? I went after prey. I went after women who had esteem issues, who if I bought them a drink, if I showed them a little time, if I paid them a little attention, they're like, oh, wow, he's different. And then sometimes I can talk like I got a little bit of sense. Yeah. So they really was falling for it. And they became a fly in my web. He's doing the same thing.
That's it.
And we walk through this life like hurt people don't hurt people, or the prey don't go out. Look, when a lion goes after a hippopotamus, do we go after mom and daddy? No, he go after the one that's sick and about to die. He go after the one that can't defend himself. That's what these people are doing. Same difference.
Same difference.
Yeah. But I still get surprised. I have groundless faith in the good of humanity.
There you go.
And we love you for that. We'll get there one day. But V asked the question. Hold on. Well, V asked the question. She's talking about Tommy, I'm assuming. And she says, what happened to him to make him feel that way towards women of color? Now
he hurt. Someone hurt him.
They shot him down. They told him they don't want to talk to him, and now all of them bad.
He actually talks on his YouTube, and I haven't been on his YouTube page. I actually did.
It's been a while since I've been on.
Subscribe to him. Yeah, it's been a long time. Now I'm talking. This has been 4 or 5 years already that I stopped watching him because he was so negative. Now when the whole movement of I think. Someone got one of the cops shot a kid in Missouri. That whole following, that's when it got negative. Too negative for me. I couldn't digest, this guy's words anymore. It got that bad. He lost a lot of followers, it just comes to the point now. Previous to that, 2 to 3 years before that, I should say, he was talking so bad about women.
What was that?
And black men and black women, it was just so sour. You look in the comments, and there's just and that's how I see this fellow in this video. He's looking for that negativity, and I guarantee you, he doesn't reply to any one of them because it's like pouring gas on the flame and just watching the fire just blow up.
Yeah. He is.
I feel like Dwayne on that one with that analogy. I appreciate that. I feel like Dwayne. Yes.
That dude needs season. Listen to me, Paul. Listen to me real quick. We are over our time. Listen, we could talk about this till the cows come home. It's just one of those things, but we can't because I got to eat and I'm hungry. So I want to say,
but T, you're not
first say this.
You just gonna let slide by the comment when Richard just shot his shot? We gonna let that slide?
Richard,
look at Richard.
Where is
Richard?
And he said, "Okay, I'm not sure." So Richard, if you're still here, I need for you before we go. I need for you to tell me which one of these fine women you talking about.
Yes.
Look, see, you really know how to make a guest not want to come back, don't you?
Please return.
You really know how to make a guest not want to come back.
Richard.
Miss Fox, I enjoyed y'all.
Drink you some. I'm gonna drink this on behalf of you.
I got a positive image of life coaches because of y'all.
Some water.
Let me thank my guests for being here. So, Miss Lynn, Xavia, thank you guys for invite and coming through. Miss Lynn, tell the folks how they can get a hold of you and connect with you.
Well, probably the best way right now, find me on Facebook. Just search my name, which has now disappeared off the screen. Yeah. You can just, Ashley sent me a friend request while we were in air and I accepted that. So reach out to me. I don't have a lot of links right now. I'm like in transition right now. Terry knows. Yeah. So I don't have a lot of links right now, but that would be the best. Just find me on Facebook and let's connect. And if you have a question, then reach out.
You and where are you located? Like Idaho or?
No, me? Lynn's in Canada.
I'm in Canada.
Lynn's in Canada.
Can you tell by my accent?
Canada.
You didn't hit the boat?
But the reason why you didn't catch it because she didn't say A after everything. So, and so, Mrs. Xavia, how can the folks get a hold of you?
Well, I am on Facebook as Xavia Fox, Xavia. I'm on Instagram as Xavia Fox, and our website is xavierfox.com. So you can keep up with me. I have a couple shows coming up as well, and for Chicago, I may be doing a couple of events. I'm still trying to work on that with the social distancing and safe COVID stuff. So, but just keep in touch on Facebook, Xavia Fox, and also check my website, xavierfox.com.
Ms. Fox, would you be willing to come back and give us the proposal exclusive? Something that you didn't share on your show? Run that by Terry. Just if we can get this.
I already know.
We want to hear about
Terry, put the comment up. Put the comment up, Terry.
I'm gonna put the comment up. So we asked Richard before we leave who he thought was the fine lady he was talking about.
Boom!
Number 4. Number 4, you heard it here, baby. Live in the
Richard. So Richard, if I could be honest with you, I've known X for as long as 9 years.
9 years. Going on 10, like I said, a decade.
I'm going to share a transparent moment. I'm gonna be real right here. The first time I laid eyes on X, we did. She had a women and men panel. I was part of the Brothers of the Round Table and the Sisters Circle with Suzette Wright and all those folks. We did a taping at a photo gallery in Chicago. Never forget it. First time I laid eyes on her, I thought I was going to lose my lunch. You want to know why, Richard? Because she was just. She was kind of, and then X is kind of a local celebrity there, and so everybody know X. So when I first saw her, I was like, oh my god. But her boyfriend was also at the time was the camera guy. So you really couldn't say a lot or even look sideways. It's kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah, because he was 6'4". He's a big dude. I kind of
this is Terry.
You should have seen me, bro. I was a man, and I was in the.
What you say? You can hear the.
And the thing about that though what's funny is that in that part of my life, I was going through the worst pain ever. Nobody never knew it.
And you were very professional. You were always there and on time. I appreciate it.
Hurting because I didn't have anything else to do. X. That's why I was on time. What's going on? So XavierFox.com actually is how you can get a hold of Xavia or Xavier Fox on Facebook, and you can follow Lynn on Brunette on the Facebook as well. So again, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Do not forget to go to the website, visit the website, knuckleheadchroniclespodcast.com. You can thank you for that. When I get my freaking Rodecaster Pro, I'll be able to do it next week. I promise.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming. Visit the website, and we'll see you guys on next week. We'll have some kind of a topic. I think Kevin has a good one that we're brewing for next week. So
let's get ready for it.
Stay tuned. We'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Awesome job. Thank you.